So hello everyone, my name is Irina and I am business analyst from Emergn, and I want to speak today about very interesting from my side topic, process intelligence through process mining. And today we are going to speak and you're gonna hear about process mining, think how process mining experiments are conducted, how to evaluate process performance, what are typical process mining cases, as well as one example, and also the process mining outcomes in Microsoft Minit. So the first question is how to understand whether your business process is intelligent, and is it intelligent enough? How to understand? Usually when people are asked about this, the answers are something connected to process continuous improvement, like minimizing costs and time, and improving quality, trying to make data-driven decisions, to be customer-centric, to innovate, to monitor your processes. I believe it's all. Everyone have heard some terms, and today I'm going to show you another thing that actually somehow summarizes the ideas from the previously mentioned terms and also introduces the new concept. So here it comes, process mining and process mining experiments. Process mining is the science that connects data and process. So if we speak about process science, it is definitely connected with business process management, process modeling, operations management, assimilation, value chain, and such things. And data is all about data, statistics, machine learning, data mining, and all type of intelligences. So process mining tries to combine those two sciences in one, trying to analyze processes from the data perspective. And actually what it does, it uses event logs of information systems. So each information system provides event log in one or another format. And and this event log usually could be useful, but no one knows it because there are only some people that are trying to do something with it. So process mining is all about technical and tools for discovering and monitoring and improving real business processes. And from the theory point of view, process mining project management is following. So everything starts with problem framing, then goes data collection, process analysis, results interpretation, and business impact creation. I believe it's that type of steps are familiar to you. Everything starts with problem framing because, as we all know, we are very interested in the problem, and it's good to start from it. And we need to, in that step, we need to identify key stakeholders. So we need to establish project goals, of course, based on strategic objectives. And then comes the business process selection part with framing of questions, hypothesis to validate, And the last part is about success criteria. And usually people that are involved in this first stage of process mining experiment is process owners, business analysts, as well as executive managers. Have you heard about the framework called goals, questions, and measures? Okay. Who's using Facebook? Okay, you're listening to me. It's good. Then the framework is pretty simple. So you need to start from setting goals as well. As I mentioned before, goals are here very important. Then those goals are usually transformed into questions. And afterwards, those questions are linked with performance measures. And that's it. Very simple idea. And as we all love examples, here I added an example. So, for example, we are very interested in customer experience, and precisely we are focusing on delivery time. So we want to reduce it to improve our customer experience. So after setting goal, we can try to find questions that will help us to make a more precise discovery. So what I can imagine here, so the questions could be, do your customers frequently receive purchases with defect? That is not very good, and that definitely is depends the delivery time. So this is the one question. The second question is, are your claims handled poorly, and why? Also, of course, claims usually are connected to delivery time. And from the first question, we can also create a performance measure, like purchase without defects divided to all purchases. Or for the second question, it's about number of successful claims divided to all claims. But how to select process? It is a good idea to try to understand whether your process is healthy or not healthy. So we need to find out how different stakeholders evaluate processes. So it might appear that processes that you first of all thought of are actually pretty healthy, not ideal, but pretty healthy to live. The next perspective is all about performance, because we need to use only those processes and discover only those processes which are connected somehow to your strategic objectives, not just random ones, and not those ones who are the closest to you, or which is really simple to fix. So not the closest or simplest one, but important. The third perspective is feasibility. So is it even feasible to change anything? Are your stakeholders ready for improvements, changes? Because we know that changes are something hard to implement, and we need some resources for that. Budget, people, knowledge, skills, everything is needed here. The last but not least, in process mining especially, data perspective, and we need to understand whether it's possible to get data, and which data is possible to get, and how quickly we can get it, whether there are some security issues. So yeah, data collection step is very important, and it is done as it is shown here. So everything starts from the identification of relevant data sources, like trying to understand from which system it is possible to get data about your processes, like SAP, Oracle, or Salesforce, and other systems. Then we need to extract data, and so we need to collect all records that are available and export them. Then goes transformation step, when we need to find duplicates, try to remove them, try to find mistakes in data or something strange, let's say. And the last one is loading data. And here, business analysts, data engineers, as well as system admins are involved. Process analysis stage, where the automated process analysis is taking place, and that could be done through conformance checking, variant analysis, performance mining, or variant analysis, and I will speak more about those terms in next slides. Step number 4 is the result interpretation and validation, where business analysts as well as process owners are involved, and they are trying to interpret those results somehow, and of course formulate hypotheses. So we will find out some interesting things, and afterwards we need to understand why they happened. It's very crucial question, I would say. Then after hypothesis comes the statistical test and also simulation if it is possible to conduct such an experiment and needed. The last one is actually business impact creation that has some possible benefits and possible costs. So for benefits, we can speak about some savings. We are interested in that. And then some savings from the operational cost reduction, maybe also the recovery of margin. And there are also some costs that are connected with the usage of software, specific software for technical people involved, and for consulting, and also for the fact that afterwards you need to change actually your process. And how to evaluate process performance, and what are process mining use cases. So here is the slide with process mining steps, and everything is starting from the event log file extraction and working with that. So as I already said, that usually information systems provide event logs, and it is possible to use it somehow. Then we can make the process variant analysis, actually meaning that we can try to find out how different is the real process. So the one same process could be implemented and performed totally in different ways, and it is quite a surprise for most process owners even. Then comes the process modeling stage with creation of process maps and trying the conformance checking and that kind of things. And the last step, conceptual step, is the process performance metrics, so the statistics, numbers, evaluations, calculations. And here comes the event log data example. Very simple one with only 4 cases. By saying cases, I mean one instance of a process that is having the same case ID. Here is a call ID. So we have got 4 calls in our call center, very poor call center with 4 calls. And what additional information we have to this in this table? We have information about time. So we have timestamp, the activity that was performed in this process. So in the first case, we got the following activities. So everything started from call started, then was validate PAC. The next is open work case, then cancel bill payments, close work case, call ended. So here we can see that something happened, some processes happened behind this activities. So some agent opened the case, then it actually performed the main activity here. So he or she canceled bill payment, and in the result, customer was, I believe, happy, and call ended positively. So 3 main data columns are obligatory for process mining analysis, and those are case ID, timestamp, as well as description of activity. And other ones are additional, like customer ID, agent ID, variant type. It is something, actually variant type is the result of variant analysis. I just added here for the representation of the variant B that is the same for the case number 2 and case number 4. So how to create or read a process map? This process is, I would say, quite understandable if you know how to do it. So all you need is just to draw cases step by step. So starting from the first case, you will draw a diagram of a process. So adding activity by activity, one after another, and in the result you will get a process map. And here is the full process map, and here is the part of it that I added for the description of the how to calculate some numbers. So we see that here are all 4 cases. So 4 cases gone through the first stage called call started, and 3 of them, so 3 cases of 4, got the next step called validate PAC. So what I can do here, I can just calculate the difference from 2 timestamps, one followed by another, and then divide it with 3, and the result get an average processing time equal with 44 seconds. Okay, so but what are typical process performance measures? Typical process performance measures are measures from the time, quality, cost perspective, plus additional measurements. So when we speak about time, it's definitely connected with the cycle time, waiting time, processing time, working time, lead time, different type of times. And usually what we want to do with it, we want to reduce it or minimize and be efficient, so-called efficient. The next one is quality measures with the customer satisfaction, net promoter score, customer feedback score, quality of delivery of services, and so on. The cost measures are also understandable: the processing cost, the cost of waste, material, resource cost, and the question appears, but how to identify process performance measures? All we need to do, we need to start from organizational objectives and KPIs. Let's do it on an example. Let's imagine that in a balanced scorecard or vision and strategy part, we are focusing on the one part, on the customer part of the scorecard. We want to improve customer loyalty. Let's save by 8%. And then it is all about key result area. So we now can go to the key performance. For each process, we need to formulate for process performance objectives. And here is the fact that customers should be served always in a timely manner. And okay, they should be served in a timely manner, but how? How we can measure it? We can measure it through customer service time. And let's say that we want to for the service time, we want to be not more than 30 minutes. So okay, this is our key performance measures. And the last thing is our target, and the target is key value. So we need to define our key value, and let's say that our service time should be in 98 cases not more than 30 minutes. It will be our key value. Okay, and how our process mining use cases are performed. And let's start from the first one called transparency, achieving transparency through automated process discovery. So we have a couple of techniques that help us to do it. So what we can do, we can analyze sequence of events. We can filter our flow of activities. We can analyze this flow and frequency of events, and actually it will lead to visualization of a real process that is a very important step for the process analysis. One more thing that we can achieve is quality, improving quality and customer experience through variant analysis, and techniques that could be used, the comparison of flows, of different flows with flow. So we can compare flows where customers were happy and not happy, and try to find out why it was so. And so we will definitely try to find those one with rework and with bottlenecks inside, and it will give us in a result real customer journey and different outcomes of processes. We can also achieve compliance and risk analysis through conformance checking with the exception analysis, resource compliance analysis that will lead to understanding of why the documented the real cases deviate from documented ones, and also perform the predictive modeling as well as what-if analysis with the help of predictive monitoring, prescriptive monitoring to be able to perform the project decision making. Okay, and the last use case is the efficiency and productivity through performance mining and all those performance measures that will help us to find inefficiencies, understand why they are there, as well as focus on potential for automation. And here I want to show you one example that we performed as well as demo. So this is a company called PTSB. It is a leading provider of retail and SME banking in the Irish market, and they came to us and said that they want to optimize their work, and also they want to grow, and they want to be successful in different aspects. So there are a lot of processes in this company, and they called them service journeys in their organizations. And actually what they mean when they describe those service journeys are actually the services that they provide to their customers, and those services are pretty understandable for every one of us, because we all are using banking services as well. So what customers can do in this service journey way, they can, for example, update they different statuses, names, surnames, different changes of their life, let's say. Then they can just close accounts, they can try to understand their spendings, they can ask to see their query balance, they can pay a bill, so they can do a lot of usual things that are available through banking systems. And those server journeys are available through different channels, like from mobile apps, Android, iOS, or portal, or just in branch. So you have to go into this branch and do something inside. And there are a lot of challenges that are common in process management and that were common for this company. So a lot of people doing the same tasks. Those tasks are highly repetitive. There is a high cost of failure or rework. There is a lack of understanding who does what in the company. Some workloads are really complex, and they involve a lot of people. Different conditional steps like approvals, checks, reminders, notifications, as well as a lot of paperwork is involved, different instructions, information. Okay, and so what was done from our part for PTSB? We got a list of service journeys with some information about each of it, and then we tried to understand what to do with those service journeys. Okay, so we have a lot of them, but what to do now? Some of them are, let's say, oh, okay, they don't need anything, so they are pretty optimized. But some of them are not very, and we need to rationalize them. meaning that we need to remove or replace service journeys on or channels with very high transaction cost, or some of journeys are actually could be automated. So we need to find out which service journeys are they are first for automation. Then also some service journeys are paper-based, and we need to try to find a solution for digitalization of them. So we created ad hoc metrics in addition to typical metrics like process variant, volume, time, or complexity. We tried to calculate with this interesting visualizations. So here is the way how we try to find out with the formulas for that. So focus on the specific area to find out which are ready for those three categories. So this is our service journey categorization model. And if we want to simplify the whole idea, so we need to focus on high frequency before low frequency, and uniform, or let's say same processes before unique processes, because it's a more efficient way of dealing with a huge scope of service journeys. And here is the data-driven scheme of performing this experiment. So we were starting from the creation of let's say semi-synthetic data, because it was data that was created on the business after interviews, after understanding of the work in different parts of the company, and having some small amounts of data, we created the big synthetic data set that helped us to perform a process mining experiment with the creation of process maps and all those techniques like flow analysis and variant analysis and so on. So in result, we created a dashboard that helped them to understand which service journeys are going in which direction, let's say, based on process metrics like volume, distribution of lead time, manual work density, process cost, as well as work density. And the result was a beautiful service journey improvement roadmap with 3 parts. Okay, and it's time to show a demo in program from Microsoft called Minit. So I will switch to video that I created in this Minit app. So what I'm doing, I'm opened this powerautomate.com website, and open the process advices part, and adding the data inside this system. So I've added a very simple event log that consists of various columns, but pretty basic ones. So here is data that I uploaded. So I have information about location, the role, the institution, the request value, and most important, as you remember, are 3 columns called activity name, so actually steps of the process. The case ID that connects those steps of the process in one process, as well as timestamp, start of the timestamp, as well as end of timestamp. But if we have at least one timestamp, it is also possible to perform process mining analysis exercise. Then all you need to do is to map those 3 obligatory things. So after mapping it, so only you're saying, so this column is all about case, this is all about event, and here we go. So now we are able to get, let's say, automatically or almost automatically the result of it. So the program calculates different variants, shows cases, activities, simple statistics in a web format, but it is even possible to go deeper and to open Minit app and to perform a different type of analysis of this event log. So here we see a process map, and this process represents different requests that came into company, and this company needs to solve those requests. And everything starts with the request entry and ends with the reissuing the request. And in the middle, we have different steps. So what can be done here, and we also are able to use metric mean duration time, and the program automatically will show you this with the red, a lot of red color here. So I don't know what you feel now, but I feel like I need to do something here. So I need to somehow to solve this problem with this step called refound with special notes. Something special is going here. So we also see those arrows that are also very, very red. So in addition, so I won't show you everything, but so what I'm doing here, I'm changing the perspective on which I'm analyzing this event log. What is also interesting, it is interesting that it is possible to look at your process from the social chart perspective. And so here is the same process, but now you see how these people interact each to another. So we see that Roland and Paul are working together, working hard. Maybe you need to add some activities for them to work better. I don't know what. And then maybe you will understand that it's strange, but Roland is working a lot of, so he does a lot of activities in your process, while Juris is doing something else. Also, it's a good idea to ask Juris what he's doing actually in his work. Then you can open a process map from the resource perspective, and you will see how processes are performed by different people, by different roles. So we have only 2 roles in this process, request processors as well as request approvers. Then you can find out what are your variants in the process. By variant, I mean a specific, unique, the way how this process is performed. Usually, one variant is most common, and some. So, for example, here it is like more than half of all processes have this variant number 1. That is, I believe, is the simplest one. Then we can choose another variants, especially those exceptional ones, to understand what happened there and whether it is okay or not. It is also possible to run the process animation that might be useful. So you will see how those events go one by another. You are able to go deeper into your process and, let's say, see all numbers about each event, maybe I would say too detailed information. The cool part is also here you are able to find out whether some metrics are influenced by another metrics. So, for example, whether case duration is influenced by event count. And here is the root cause analysis result, basically saying if you have a lot of events, so if event count is less than 5, then your case duration is, let's say, small. But if your event count is more than 5, then your case duration is 2 times bigger. Also, we can find out whether case waiting time is influenced by event count, and yes, it is. And in the end, you can represent your process variance slightly in the different manner. Maybe it is more convenient for you to analyze it in that way. And the last, but not least, the process comparison option is also available. Okay, and the question is what are possible outcomes of process mining application, or the question, is it worth it trying? And usually outcome is some kind of answer or monitoring solution. So after performing this process mining experiment, you will be able to monitor your process in the future. That is good. And also you will be able to get a recommendation for a transformation. But of course, the question is whether you are going to use this recommendation properly. Yes, it is not a solution for all problems, process mining, because I want to mention that data-driven techniques are very dependent on data, and not always data is available, and you need to deal with a lot of security issues, and with the problem that not everyone wants to share their data. Some people are afraid of it. Yeah, it's all data-based, and it has their own drawbacks. But still, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So if we have at least something, it's better than having nothing. And I just added 2 books that definitely influenced this presentation. from the Van Alst, as well as from the Marlon Dumas. And thank you for listening to me today. Maybe you have some questions? Yes, please. There are a lot of solutions available on market, like Celonis, like Fluxicon, like Uppermore, but I don't know whether you have the free version for the full usage, let's say. So some of them have opportunities like academic edition, and I'm studying at the university as a PhD student, and for example, I'm using the academic version. So you have some options, but still with some marks, with some special mark. Yes? It sounds like app dynamics for processes. Very similar. Maybe. It's hard for me to comment, but yeah. Yes, please. Yes, it can. So for those of you who know nothing about WebQ, so WebQ is the concept of Emergn for value, flow, and quality. And if we go deeper inside, we definitely have different metrics for value, for flow, and from quality, and they are inside your process. And if you have data, then you are able to measure them. Any more questions? How do you plan your work? The process analysis can take some time. Do you have you work on one team, on one process, or three processes, or you know what to analyze? It, of course, it very depends on the specific experiment, and usually we are trying to focus on the one process, but it's this process is connected with, of course, other processes, and it consists of small processes. So when we look at one specific process, of course, we analyze more than one. But still, as I said, you are not working by your own. You are working in a team, and you are working in close cooperation with the client because you need this business knowledge. It's like almost an obligation to work with the process owners, not only with having your own data skills. Usually the best results are achieved only when cooperation exists. Thank you. Okay, thank you.